Welcome back. This is the second video of the Mardu thing where I'm taking the basic gist of the same deck, but switching up the commander and a few cards, about 10 or so, out of the deck to go ahead and make a completely different deck that kind of leans toward the Mobilize mechanic. So let's kick it off this time with Neriv, Heart of the Storm. And this is the deck that's going to lead to the title here, a hasty demise for our opponents. If you don't know what Neriv, Heart of the Storm does, let's take a quick look at it here. For 5 mana, you get a 4/5 Flying Dragon Spirit that says if a creature entered the battlefield this turn, it would actually deal double the damage. So basically, as long as that thing comes in, like our Mobilize tokens or a creature with haste, it's going to deal double damage. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then the big changes to the deck compared to the last deck I did is I have more damage doubling besides Neriv in the deck, such as Twin Flame Tyrant, but I also have the alternative, which was just the recently reprinted Fiendish Duo from the latest version of Jumpstart, which is a much cheaper version if you're going to do this kind of thing in paper to use over the Twin Flame Tyrant, but it's nice to have some redundancies in case Neriv gets knocked out for the count. We have other ways of doubling our damage, and these guys are not restricted to just when the stuff comes into play. It's double damage all the time. Now, what else we're doing here? We're also making token copies of stuff that when you make the token copy, of course, it just entered into play, so it's going to deal double damage with Neriv on the board with things like Ortheon, Hero of Lava Brink, Electric Duplicate, and Molten Duplication. So we have other ways of making our basically non-legendary creatures copies to come down and smash face. And then things that don't usually have haste right away, we have ways of giving them haste with things like Rising of the Day, Enduring Courage, Ogre Battle Driver, and Nahiri's Resolve. Now, the cool thing about Nahiri's Resolve is the creatures have the haste, but then it also has a flickering effect, which will make all of our non-token stuff slide off the board, and they don't come back until the beginning of my next upkeep, so I can keep them protected from board sweeps or single removal if they're tapped out or whatever's going on. We also have, like I said, the Ogre Battle Driver, which this was originally just done up in Arena. Well, they actually put this in the Mardu Precon, so there's that. And then we have Enduring Courage, which is the enchantment version once it dies, but it's another creature that does the exact same thing, +2/+0 in haste. And it doesn't matter if they already are attacking or already have haste. All those tokens that we're generating with Mobilize, yeah, these are going to give them +2/+0 into one to turn. And we don't care that they're dying in combat anyways, because they're going to be 3/1s with one of these down. So it just does a nice little chunk of damage. So that's the basis of the deck. Let's get into it, see what this thing can do, and we'll talk more about it after. Chandra, Awakened Inferno. All right. So we got us a commander with emblem potential. It's okay. I'm going to try it. Do Nomad Outpost on 1 just so we have the tap land come in. And then it's probably Arid Mesa for my other main tap land. Alright. Our mono red opponent finally woke up after about a minute or so of hanging on. I'll be cutting that out of the video. Don't have a mountain, so that's only going to produce black next turn. So yeah, we're just going to do Arid Mesa, and we're going to go get the Savai Triome out of the deck. We still have the mana up for swords if we need it for anything. So let's go get the Triome. So now we should be good on color for whatever. Come on. Like, I don't understand what the heck the hang-up is. A Palantir, you say? I don't care about a Goblin Arsonist. That's not something I'm going to Swords to Plowshares. I'll take the life loss. What the heck was that? I was shocked. I was like, what is going on? Alright, so let's get Black Market Connections going. And then we have some options. We can do Roaming Throne. We could do Neriv next turn. Now, that's something that's getting Swords to Plowshares. Alright, they dunked them both. I'm going to lose life off this one. Alright. Give. Not making the token because I don't have a haste granter. Alright, so this turn is going to be Swords of Plowshares before they can do anything. That can go away. And we're going to go Roaming Throne because it has Ward, making it harder to kill. And I'm going to name Warrior just like I would do with any of the other stuff. It's just because it's in here to make the Mobilize triggers go off more, even though I don't have anything in my hand currently. But none of this stuff has stuff to do either. I'm not going to block that. We'll just take the hit. Because that makes me think they have like a lightning bolt or something. They kept one. I'm going to lose life. Screw it. Alright. Let's just create a treasure. We're getting low. Alright. So, there's a mobilized creature. And let's put down... Let's put down Neriv first. They both have a 5 toughness backside attached to them. But if Neriv gets blown up, it's not as big a deal as the Twin Flame Tyrant would be, just simply because I don't have any other way of getting the Tyrant back in the deck, versus Neriv I can just recast. Alright, so... I'm gonna block it. Let's see if they got the lightning bolt. Make them burn it. Okay. And if push comes to shove and they put something down I really don't like, Vanquish the Horde's available. I'm not going to be losing any more life to the Palantir. They're going to get their cards, unfortunately. I just don't have the capability of taking another shot, especially if they run like a big dragon or two in there that's not, you know, small. Oh, they're going to chain spells, huh? Okay, come on, burn that hand up. Wow, they really wanted to burn that hand up. Well, I could recast it. But that is, yeah, that's not a great way to spend your resources. You don't really want to, essentially 3-for-1 yourself. It's not, not a great way to go about it. Alright, so now I'm going to start hitting them because I'm getting annoyed with them. And we're going to be on the clock here real quick.
Is it just me, or is it getting a little warm in here?
Alright, come on. Let me make you draw your card. Alright, that Bloodstained Mire is really not doing me any good right now. Alright, so Neriv, smack her, smack them. Alright, I'm going to leave that up for protecting something if I need to. I mean, if you +1, you're just going to be hosed. Oh, hey, look at that. Darn, pro red. Nope. Sorry. I'm just curious how much damage they were going to take next turn. What is that? 4 times 4, or what is it? Yeah. So it would have been 12 times, or would have been, God, I can't math today. 4, 8, 12 times 2 is going to be 24. God bless. Krenko Mob Boss. All right, we got our second mono red deck in a row. Let's see if we can manhandle it just as effectively. I'm I'm gonna try this hand simply because it curves pretty nicely if we can get that third land online. Because we can go into Rising of the Day into Alesha. And then it could go right into Neriv or the Mardu Siegebreaker. Or we can even just go straight into War Effort, which makes Alesha even better. Okay, we get a Verge. That's good. So there's that. Let's go Rising. And we can go straight into Alesha if we want. Or we can go Rising and into Riv and smack them for 10 straight. So, let's see here. Let's go with the Rising of the Day. They have a 1-mana something. Lightning Bolt, Shock, whatever. Because it has to be something that can hit me in the face. So if we draw a land, we could go Alesha Boots. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Because they block with the Battle Driver. Alesha will just first strike it to death. We didn't get the land, though. That sucks so much. Poop. Let's put this out here. Let's see if they have something to waste on it. Because Alesha can just bring it back. There's Shock. Alright. So that's better. It's better that we didn't get the land anyway. Because if I would have just hastily dropped Alesha on the board, she would have died. And it would have been just like, okay, whatever. Ugh. Oh, God. This is gonna hurt. A lot. Are we just... I say, are we just dead? Oh, goodness. Yeah, we're just toast. Vnwxt, the verbose host. I've not seen anybody try this yet, so I'm kind of curious to see what they come up with. I do like this hand, though. A turn 2 Voice of Victory would be nice if we can get the white mana. Because then they can't counterspell anything. Oh, there we go. White mana, intercept. Let's see if they, you know, let me try to do that. They may just try to counter something. Instead of actually advancing the board. Which, yeah, they have mono blue players. Go figure. Let's do the Signet. Let them figure out what they're going to do. Because there's no way they would have let that Voice of Victory resolve if they had counter magic available. So, let's not shock ourselves. Let's just do Voice of Victory, Shock Brigade. We'll get 2 things up and running. So the voice in this, so we now have a bunch of stuff that we can swing in with. Depending on what they have, we could do Neriv next turn. They have 2 mana open, though. Not good. Alright, so let's see. Let's see what this does. No stick. Good. Let's get another mobilizer going, since we didn't get the stick. I mean, you're going to block 1 damage, I would guess. Gotta get those ship shots in while we can. I could have done Stormplane Detainment on Malcolm to keep them from hitting the next level of start your engines, but it's whatever. A time warp. Of course. So Malcolm can start casting stuff, I think, right? Yeah. So now they have a boatload of mana and all the time in the world to mess with. So, okay, we got no stick on the Dragonfire Blade. Let's go with Neriv then. I'm going to equip the Dragonfire Blade, so if they have any kind of stuff that can mess with it, we're going to stop that. Alright. Let's double the damage on those. I say be careful where your blocks are going, because those 2-1s will kill your Vnwxt. Ooh. Ouch. Oh. Well, that's what that feels like. This is not too bad. I like that it's got a Signet and it's got Waystone's Guidance in it. So we'll go ahead and keep this. We can do Dalcoven on 1. Unless we top deck a Swamp or Plains, which we didn't. So that's going to come in tapped. So we'll probably do the Arcane Signet, because then I can do... There's a few options I can do here. First time I've actually gotten the Hero's Resolve in my hand, too, since I started testing this deck. There's a deep-seated part of me that thinks I should go ahead and... I want to see what they exiled with that. And get a Chrome Mox. I just haven't spent the wild cards on it. So Rafine's up and running. Depending on what they leave tapped or untapped will determine what I do here. Alright, so let's try the Unending or Enduring Courage. Even if they kill it, as long as they don't exile it, it'll come back and still be of use to us. Let's see, if I shock that in, I play the Professional Facebreaker. The Facebreaker can then swing through. I think that's the play. Let's go Waystone's Guidance. Professional Facebreaker. Like, everything's hanging up and I don't know why. Alright, so Facebreaker's gonna swing. I'll get a double Mobilize off of that. Those will get bigger. They can't afford to block them or they'll lose their commander. That's an easy take half your life. And that gives us a nice treasure token to work off of. So depending on what they do here, if they go for like some weird stuff, Neriv could really mess them up. Like, I don't know if they can actually afford to use Rafine. Like, if they want to swing with Rafine, that might leave them open to just dying. Alternatively, we could just use Bone Cairn Butcher, and then the multiple mobilizes this could really just kill them straight. Okay. Alright, they discarded a whole lot of stuff. We're gonna take a lot of damage, but unless something weird happens, I think we're okay. Ooh. Okay. So this makes life interesting. Let's see if they counter this. They did not. I was gonna go for the full gusto, drop the combat celebrant in there, and just be like, exert, take double combats, the whole 9. It would have been freaking hilarious. Kotis the Fangkeeper. I've run into this commander several times, and I have not done well. So, okay, well, I have a couple exile removal spells, so I'll hang on to this particular hand because of that fact. This particular cat must have a glitch. I just got out of a game where this cat pet was glitched. So it's either my system's glitching or that thing is. But being that it's the only thing I see on the screen, I would assume it's that particular pet. Go Nomad Outpost on 1. I've got a few options to mess around with. Sorry for yawning. I spent about an hour and a half today putting out mulch in my front yard, and it was about 80 degrees out, so it's a little draining to say the least. I'm honestly surprised I haven't made more misplays tonight because of that fact. All right, there's Kotis. There's Kotis. Go away. The only way I can think to beat that deck is to keep Kotis the Fangbearer from sticking ever. Like, just keep it off the freaking board. And even then, I don't know if that's going to be enough to really do enough to kill them. I sense a counterspell in my future. Hey, there it is. Well, I'll be Stormplane detaining that thing. I mean, it's a good card and all, but... Let's see, 4-2... Well, that makes it a little harder to justify using to get rid of. Let's go black. I mean, I have a worthy cost I can use as a removal later, so exile is definitely the way to go. Oh, we actually I can do artifacts too. I forgot about that. Hey, he's back. Yay. Yes, I'm sacrificing my Neriv to get rid of this guy because he's annoying. And I am so sick and tired of losing to this commander. I think I am probably 0-6 against the stupid thing. It's that frustrating. Of course, they drew the freaking counter spell. Oh, am I gonna get elf beats? Oh, great. It's beats by elf. And it's pro red, so I can't even hit it with Gornog the Red Reaper. Wonderful. That is some lame crap. Alright. I need more black removal or more weight removal, please. Because that thing needs to go away. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're probably deciding like what to do here because they can't recast Kotis because I've killed it so many times. They're kind of in the same boat as what I'm currently in. Okay, I have Menace, so I can swing with this. I mean, they'll block that, but you know, whatever. I could chip in some damage at the very least. Now we're getting close to Ortheon doing something. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually, I have enough mana to do that. Oh, that's funny. Let's go Ortheon 9 on Shock Brigade. Everybody in the boat, you're a coward. Oh, damn! Finally beat that freaking commander. Teval, the balance scale. I've only played against this one time in playtesting, and I don't remember much about it, so not sure how this one's gonna go. Generally, anything with black and blue in it has not been fun for me to play against as of late. Alright, let's go Tormenting Voice. We will discard the Stormplane Detainment. Didn't get any more lands. That's not what I was looking for. I was hoping for more land. So there is a Teval. Let's go Professional Facebreaker. Because if they go to swing and they get a thing off of it, I still have Menace to swing past the token. So we still hit our treasure token if they decide to swing. And if they don't swing, I still can hit them. Alright, we did get our land, so that's good. We will shock ourselves. I'm going to go ahead and swing first. See if they have any kind of removal they want to show off, and if not, oh well. Let's go Bone Cairn Butcher. Counterspell. And we still have the mana up for a Swords. Okay. Yeah, let's see if we can get rid of Teval. Send him packing, force them to have to recast it rather than trying to advance their game plan of any sort, I'm going to make them do things. They don't have anything in their graveyard to reanimate with that Diagraph Rebirth. Now that's a problem of enormous proportions. Well, not as so much. I have a ride down, so it's not the worst. Alright. I just can't go. Okay, I have to have the red for the ride down. So... how does this work? Target blocking. So we'd only kill one of them. So I can't kill them both. So I guess we go this route. We'll swing it. Those have Death Touch, so they're not going to block there. I'm going to just use Ride Down to kill the cow. And then the 4 carry over because it gives it trample. And then now that we have a treasure token to work with, let's go. Let's go Honored Crop Captain. I was thinking of going Combat Celebrant, but in the same breath, I was like, I don't know how well that's going to work because it's telegraphing the extra combat. So they're going to either blow up the Bone Cairn Butcher, or they're going to try to, you know, kill the Combat Celebrant. So I don't think it's the greatest plan in the world to just telegraph that. Now, draw a land. I could do all-out assault this turn. Alright, they're just recasting Teval, which is fine. Let's see. If I do that, it's a 4/4 that makes another copy of something I exile. This might actually be the case where I kind of like this card. Okay, so they had a counter spell. Alright, gotcha. So we're just going to smack you for 2 and get my thing. Alright. Glad I didn't walk an all-out assault into that or anything, or a combat celebrant. See, it's 10 damage. We go to 3. Leaves them with that. I'm going to go to 3. Because with an all-out assault, we can win. I think. What are they going to do? Because they wipe the board, that completely negates anything going on. Okay, a Timeless Witness. They're getting something back. They got back Oasis of Renewal. I don't even remember. I don't even know what this card does. When it enters and whenever it leaves your graveyard, seek a land card, triggers machine. Okay, it's decent. Now they have 2 blockers that can kill a couple of my creatures, which is really annoying. Let's see here. If I pop that, swing, they probably double block the Bone Cairn Butcher, is my guess. Because that does not bolster the body of that at all. I mean, we have to try. We're dead next turn if we don't. And it might have a counterspell. What are you going to do besides roll over and die? So, moving along. Zurgo of Thunder's Decree. Alright, let's see if the dragon's better than the orc. Sure, we'll try this one. Go Plains Blade on 1, and then we'll figure out the rest from there. Probably doing Delcoven Outrider on 3, Neriv on 4, if we can get the, pardon me, the 4th mana. Rising of the Day kind of changes this a little bit for me. Simply because now I can just haste cast everything. Okay, so now I gotta wait, which sucks, but, you know, whatever. This is just hitting them for 2. Or not. Okay. So the next creature we draw got a perpetual +2/+2. I could see something with like Delcoven Outrider. If you had like a brainstorm effect, you could actually brainstorm in and really screw somebody up. All right. Oh, okay. So let's see here. What to do. I guess it's gonna be the Shock Brigade. And I'm just gonna start popping extra damage at him like this. And then I'm gonna Worthy Cost Zurgo and sack one of these because it's gonna go away anyways. Get him off the board. Slow down the progress here. Yes, I had fun. Because what I'm going to do next is probably drop down the, Neriv if I actually get there. Or I can just do the Roaming Throne Name Warrior, and then both of these are going to trigger double time and just do a bunch of extra damage. So, uh-oh. It's the guy that spits out Monastery Mentors. I've had bad luck against him, too. Let's keep this. We have removal, protection, and a haste granter. But we do have to get to that black mana. Oh, pretty please give me some black mana. Well, that's a no. Alright, so we got Rising of the Day. If we get a black mana, we could drop Neriv and just smack him for 10 across the face. Which, I like that plan. Because next turn I could smack them for almost lethal if they don't mess around with Neriv. If they waste their time doing other things, they're going to explode. Okay. Drop that. If I did that, I could do 10. Why would you deal 2 damage to the dragon and not my face? Like, what sense does that make whatsoever? I could do the Combat Celebrant. Or I could just do this. I like this idea. Simply because you get the Mobilize tokens, too. Alright. So now you gotta make it good, because I got a Molten Duplication in hand, too. And if you top deck a land, like, I could really mess them up if I top deck a land. Okay. Yeah, you're not going anywhere. I have a Mardu Siege Breaker in hand and a Molten Duplication. Either way, I'm going to blow you up. All right, let's talk about this deck. I am not happy with the results of this deck. I'm going to try to not cut a bunch of games out of this video. If you're at this point in the video and you're seeing this, luckily I have salvaged enough of this to do something with. I had a lot of non-games, a lot of games that just drove me absolutely insane because if I couldn't stick Neriv on the board or stick a mobilized creature, it just didn't feel like a very good thing. That being said, there's moments where explosive plays can happen. That's the thing. It's like it feels like one of those batters in baseball if you're a baseball fan, that all they can do is hit. They can't field worth a damn. They can't pitch. They can't do anything but swing the bat. So they're a designated hitter in baseball. That's all they do. They can smash the ball. That's what this deck does. Is it smashes the ball. If you get to just that sweet spot, all of a sudden you can explode and a bunch of tokens are going off on the board and you're smashing your opponent's teeth in out of nowhere. It's just like, surprise, you're dead. It's not very consistent. I'm sure there's a better way of building this deck around Neriv than screwing around with all of these mobilized tokens. Please let me know in the comments below, what would you do differently rather than messing with the mobilized mechanic and messing around with Neriv as the leader of a mobilized deck? How would you build that deck? The bones are here. I like the haste granting enchantments. I like the token creating stuff like Ortheon and the molten duplication. Those things seem to work out pretty well. But the Mobilize stuff just isn't hacking it, and I'm not sure what else I could be doing differently. But for this little thought experiment, I did want to keep the kind of the basis of the deck the same, with most of the same mobilized creatures as the other two versions of the deck. That said, if you like this video, please like, share, comment, subscribe. All those things help the channel grow. And as always, thank you for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.